Hello, I'm Robert Van Rissingham with Naturally Noble and Western Environmental Services. Today we're going to demonstrate how to fill a garden box. This garden box was designed by Western Environmental Services. It's designed to minimize the loss of minerals from our gardens. Utilizing our soil, the most important part of that of the soil aspect is maintaining a constant nutritional value in our food. That nutritional value can only be lost by overwatering or wind or other soil erosions. This box is designed to maintain the mineral content, so the only mineral content you'll lose is by what you eat. The other important part is to ensure the integrity of the content of the soil. Our soils are designed with mineral content to address specific deficiencies in our diet. But they're also designed to minimize lead, arsenic, mercury, and cadmium in our food system. We do this by using composted manure that's 2 years aged, but only manure that's used from a ranch that maintains a mineral nutrient value in their feeding operation. That feeding operation, that window of opportunity for us to gather that manure, is in the late fall and early spring through the conception and calving operation of that cattle ranch. This isn't your normal cattle ranch. This cattle ranch prides itself on the quality that they put into their cattle. They have a lot of top show cattle that are exhibited in Wyoming State Fair many years in a row. It's a Thaler's and Evans Ranch in LaGrange, Wyoming. If you're looking for beef, I strongly recommend. The quality of their beef is no different than the quality of what we're trying to put into our food products. Let me discuss why I designed this garden box. This garden box, we look for many commercial garden boxes. We've traveled many states, had many meetings, and we were just not satisfied with the garden boxes that were out on the market. This garden box is made from nearly 98% recycled material. The only material that we purchased to put into this box was 2x6s around the rim, which we could easily use recycled 2x6s, and then all the screws that went into it, and maybe 3 or 4 plumbing parts that we had to put into it to maintain a water level. It's manufactured using recycled totes, with their tremendous amounts of totes on the market. These are pellet totes. I'll cut in a picture of what one looks like. But then we use for a skirting around it is from Nature's Composite. It's a local company in Torrington, Wyoming. You can find a lot of their products at homedepot.com. If you look at the Santa Fe fencing system, that's all Nature's Composites. Nature's Composites recycles plastic. We've all seen massive amounts of plastic washing up on shores or islands out in the middle of the ocean of plastic that's just an absolute travesty to the earth. Nature's Composites manufactures fencing, decking material, and other plastic products. They'll actually custom mold. Their molding is extrusion, screw extrusion. They can have any percentage of plastic you like, any color you like. What they use as a filler, so to keep the plastic so it has some rigidity to it, and also it's light. That is a recycled straw product. Here in Wyoming we have a lot of wheat farms, and straw is a byproduct. It takes about 8-foot sections of their product to make the skirt. We also have another design, which is a commercial design. That commercial design, we designed that for the rooftop garden systems that we find in more cities like Denver and in Boulder, Colorado. You know, with the requirements of recycled products being incorporated into building products, we thought that we had an excellent opportunity to bring a product to market that's 98% recycled. You know, even if you think about it, even our garden soil is recycled. It's 2 years of age cattle manure. It's perfect. But so now I'm going to go into, you know, I'll do another video on how to manufacture one of these if you want to manufacture one yourself, where to order the products. I really didn't want to get into the container box business, but we see an importance for having a container box that matches our soil. So we will custom build for any job if you're interested in a container box, or if you're interested in a kit to build your own. We'll support you in any way we can. What we tried to replicate was the Garden of Eden. We didn't have rain in the Garden of Eden. There was a mist, but it says in the Bible that the water came up from the bowels of the earth and watered the soil. I believe it probably did it on a tide cycle, or it was just saturation. This box has a water reservoir. The container, we still have the steel frame of the container on this, and we put the skirting around it. But the top of the container, we rolled it over and set it inside, so we ensure we have a water reservoir. We'll have a wicking system, and we'll show you how we use that wicking system. And then we will still use mist. We'll use garden misters to maintain the water. But if the water level, there's a little float in here that will come up when you see the water level. If the water level stays below the black line, then we know we're not having our root system and our soil sitting in water going septic. It's important that we don't take the water from the bottom and just put it on the leaves, because then we're susceptible to bacteria on the edible part of the plant. So we will be able to maintain a water level into that by using the sight glass, but we'll monitor the level of the water by the operation cycle of the mister. So in this garden, we're going to use a memory formula. This is a topsoil ready product. It already has the formulas blended into it. To fill up this garden box, it'll take 10 cubic feet. It's roughly 120 feet of 120 gallon capacity between the top of the bladder and the rim. 10 bags should do us fine. It's important also, if you decide to go with your own garden soil, one of our soil conditioners will do 3 of these containers. So if you like the garden soil that you have, or the shipping is too expensive, or you're making your own box, one of the garden conditioner bags will do 3 containers. First important step is making sure your box is level. Our ground is kind of soft here and a little bit on a hill or slope, so we dug it in. The pellet is still intact within the skirting, so if you wanted to move a box even when it's full, it's just a matter of taking off a couple panels, using a fork, a bobcat, and you can move these easily even when they're full. But to ensure that we're level, just allows the water system to work right, allows the root system to be in equal moisture as during the growing season. Our garden soil, like I say, is very dry. It's ship dry, and it will repel water. And so for a lot of people, they're not used to seeing that into in a garden soil. But you should be able to see the wood chip fibers in our garden soil. And you can see it doesn't clump and hold together where you can compact it into your fist. We're saying 2 gallons of water for every cubic foot. And we recommend you do this 24 hours before you're planting. And a lot of the, and you can still see it's not just, we want it to saturate the product. And if you don't do this, the water will just bead up and channel around it, and not, you won't have a uniform moisture throughout the product. And you can still see we have a lot of dryness. We're getting some moisture in there. But we'll let it soak in a little bit as we prep the box. We took the center ring, which is a 6-inch cap, and we took that out. And we're using this as a wicking system in that center. And you can get these at any, they're a half-gallon container mold, and they easily fit in there nice and snug. And to keep the dirt from just funneling through into the water reservoir, we're using some hammer milled hay. Now you could use any coconut mesh that you can find. I like the hammer milled hay. We get the hay from the Mossman farm up in Minnesota. We tested their soils. There's virtually minimal lead, minimal arsenic, and cadmium in it. And that's important that we know everything that goes into our product. We can sell this hay in a 1 cubic foot bag. 1 cubic foot is about all you would need for each container. So we're going to just put in about a cubic foot in there to act as a filter mesh. Between our soil and the water reservoir. What we did is we just drilled about a dozen holes in the low spot on this for the water to drip down into the reservoir. We have our wicking system. We want that to be somewhat filled with hay, about 1/3 up, and the rest of it with soil. Now our soil, we're pretty much, we have no standing water in our product right now, and our soil is now acting like soil should act. It will clump together, will form to the hand, but it's not so wet that we can squeeze water out of it. So this is, it will homogenize over the 24 hours, even better quality than this, but now we're ready to work with this soil. Speed things up here. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and get this thing filled up. So that's 10 gallons, or 10 bags of material, just under 80 gallons of soil that we put into this container. And now what I recommend this time of year, you know, it's too early for me to transplant plants or to plant in here. The frost is just coming out of the ground in Wyoming here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant and sow some wheat into this. And in 14 days we'll just harvest the wheatgrass out of this. But more importantly, we'll have root structure and rhizome chemical activity that the plant released into the soil to allow the microbes then to take advantage of that rhizome, and then we'll be ready to transplant plants into this. It'll probably be another month or so before we're ready to transplant.